with myself, Salailo Makwidiri. The ongoing conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo has sparked global concerns, with the M23 rebel group apparently being backed by Rwanda, intensifying its attacks, while Western powers continue to back their actions. The Congolese Solidarity Campaign, an advocacy group founded by victims of this brutal conflict, is calling for international solidarity to stop the violence and exploitation of the Congolese people and their resources. And with the region's wealth in cobalt, coltan, and copper being plundered by foreign powers for so many years, the Congolese people have borne the brunt of a war that has claimed millions of lives. Today, we're joined by Raphael Bahebwa Kabambire. He's a representative of the Congolese Solidarity Campaign, and he's going to help us shed light on the ongoing struggle in the DRC and discuss how the world can help. Raphael, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you giving us your time.
Thank you so much. I'm here, my brother.
I think first and foremost, can you start by giving us a brief overview from a humanitarian crisis point of view, the situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and how it has affected the people there, and how this war has been allowed to go on for such a long time?
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity. What I would love to say on the humanitarian crisis in Congo, the war is there for so long. We are over 30 years now. The country is under bloodshed from Laurent Kabila and how he was assassinated in 2002. And the thing goes on, and then we have rebels groups from one name to other, and today we have M23 and Flev Congo. All this is burden to our community in South and North Kivu, whereby M23 today they're fighting to capture the city of Goma, which is rich in all the mineral, as like we wrote in our press statement. Humanitarian crisis is very bad, and people are dying in daily basis because there is no food. Since M23 start to take some villages, you understand that there's a villages which are supplying town. And then when there is a war, they even cut the connection between town to the rural area. So food is a problem. People who live from one point to the other, they don't have much help. Meanwhile, the way we heard that, there are people who saying that they can help, and I think they have been funded with this big organization, but on the ground is not the reality, because people are suffering to the point of they are not feeling to be human any longer. So the crisis because there is a lot of sickness when people are running from one point to the other. There is people that are short of food, even a place to sleep, and children are much victims and women in this point, because most of them you find that in the family whereby they kill parents and children they running away than mourning for their parents, but they reach to the point whereby they don't have food, they don't have where to sleep, and they rape from rebel point of view, raping our children and so on and so forth. So this is a big to Congolese community in both Kivu South and North Kivu, and really we are asking for any solidarity, because even our Congolese Solidarity Campaign member in South Kivu and North Kivu, they are in big worry, because M23 they already sent the gospel that they can take over Kivu, South Kivu anytime. So people are really in big fear. And in North Kivu, I was speaking to our leader, who's a pastor in Goma city. He just told me that really there is no connection, no light, food, where they're going to get food. I just heard even some video whereby even those fighters, those loyalist fighters from our nation, Congolese, who want to help, because we don't want M23, we don't want Flev Congo, we don't want them. They are nonsense to us. It doesn't matter what they can claim, because our people are dying Those who say they will come to help, they were in the government, they never helped. Now they want to be rebel to tell us that they're going to help our people. Crisis is so lot, my brother. We just need solidarity. We just need help from anyone. Thank you.
Mm. You keep mentioning, the need for solidarity, and your organization, Congolese Solidarity, campaign, is calling for that. But in literal terms, what does that look like? What does solidarity with the people of the Congo look like that, South Africans and the people from the rest of the world can adopt, and make sure that, there's a role that they play, when it comes to, raising awareness, on this, I think, very, very long-standing, conflict in the DRC?
Brother, at the moment we are alone in this world. Let me say this clearly. Because those who are claiming that they're helping Congolese, but do they do follow up to see if they send help, it reach the destination? I'm not saying 100%, but 80% we are alone under the planet. Because if it was the issue of Israel and Palestine, if it was Russia and Ukraine, media, they are good coverage and so on. But Congolese, since we're starting to die, people they asking, what is your problem? Who are you fighting to? And they know names of M23, Flev Congo, and those other thieves who are coming under the proxy of multinational to kill our people, and no one who's ready to help us. I think we are feeling like we are hopeless. Our people are hopeless. No one wants to listen about Congo because all the big media have been paid to not publicize Congolese stories. We lost our hero Lumumba, and no one who wants to care. And there's a stereotype of the history up to now, whereby we're starting to feel like we are alone under the planet. That's why we are calling for solidarity for those with a good heart, because most of the time they call us in platforms like Palestine. We sympathize with them, but when it comes to Congo, we understand that everyone they are together so that Congolese people, they must die. We feel like we don't have friends, but we still asking for friendship. People, we are human. We belong to this planet. We need solidarity to anyone to help us. I think this is what I can emphasize in short.
You mentioned that this current conflict is tied down to multinationals, the global tech economy, especially with the demand for minerals like cobalt, coltan, and copper that the DRC has in mass. Could you elaborate on how these resources are fueling the violence in the region?
Okay, maybe the legal history you must understand is that people are fighting for wealth of Congo, meanwhile Congolese people are poor. To just say that to the point whereby Kabila came to power, but we know the conspiracy of what kills Lumumba, because Lumumba spoke about wealth of the country have to help its own people and develop the country. But if you come to Congo as an investor or whatsoever you want to do, you don't want to include Congolese on what they have in their land. That's why we, as the social movement, we know that we will come to the point of destroying everything with our hands, because if something you say is belong to me, but it doesn't save you, it doesn't have right to be with you. This is what we believe. So what I'm trying to say, all the multinations, they are using proxies, brother. I'm talking about America. I'm talking about United Kingdom. I'm talking about France. I'm talking about Belgium. I'm talking about Germany, and the list is too long. And what they did, they don't want to show their faces on our conflict. That's why they send Rwanda and Uganda to be their proxies and try to dictate who needs to lead the Congo, who don't need to lead the Congo. Agreements have been made, even with the current president, Tshisekedi. He made some agreement with them. That's why he doesn't have a power that much to conclude our fight, even though he's trying to do his best. But we must understand that Congo is like we're living in Congo. Everyone in this globe, they love Congo because of what is inside. But we Congolese, we don't need to exist according to multinational, according to America, according to UK, according to those countries which we mentioned, because of resources which is attracting them through technology and other industries, but we don't have right to live. That's why they've been butchering us and killing us, and no one who seems to say he can speak on our behalf. That's why, as a social movement, as a Congolese social movement, we are trying to urge, to ask for those who have a good heart, because I believe that they're still there. Because since the first invasion of Congo, for those long years, there were even journalists who came and break silence about what is happening in Congo. But now, they know anybody who can stand and speak about Congolese suffering and so on. I think this is what we are preaching, my leader.
Mm, mm, mm. Can you give us a bit more information on how your movement plans to, mobilize and raise awareness both locally here in South Africa, and also what role can the global African diaspora play in amplifying this struggle for justice by the people of the DRC?
We're trying. Maybe our background, we came to South Africa as a refugee, result of what is happening in Great Kivu. And then we reached here. We were starting to try to think that we can learn, because we ran a Congo because we saw people have been butchered, but you don't know what the reason, who's fighting with who. We were young. They tell us to join the army, but who are you going to fight with? But reaching to South Africa, learning from what we learn, we understand that there's this capitalists who want to take over everywhere because of resources. Countries which are poor, they don't have wars. But countries like Congo, they're trying to say the war would not get end until when they come and the mineral for free. They don't want to pay any tax. That's why they have to bring proxies, war, so that they can get things for free. So as we speak now, I'm at Abashali Basem Chondolo's office because they are our friend. They do understand language which we are talking, and we understand that these countries, sometimes we are not alone who are suffering the same suffering which other people are having next door or in the continent. So we are trying to raise awareness, because what I'm saying and what I discover is that when you're talking to people about Congo, they say, those people, they don't take us seriously. Meanwhile, we are in foreign country, and there is no better place like home. That's why we know that there are a lot of movements across the globe which are saying that they are advocating about Congo. But the result inside, there is almost nothing. We can't say 100%, but almost nothing which our people have been experiencing to say there are people who speak, there are people who trying to advocate for us. That's why we just say, let us join as well, because our end will reach when we keep quiet up to the last point. We know that we are victims, even in diaspora, because there are people who have been sent to kidnap our children and to make our life in danger, but we can't stop because our people are still dying. So our solidarity, we have. That's why we having movements like progressive movement, which has some members in globally. We have Abashali here. We have Nomsa and Kosatu, because we're trying to start to communicate to them and show them really what is killing us for the sake of humanity, and see what they can do to help us. That is what I would like to say about the point you asked me.
I think we're going to leave it here for now. Really, really appreciate you giving us your time. And I think here at Salam Media, we'll definitely be following the story of the Congo quite closely. And I will be catching up with you in the not so distant future. Really appreciate it.
Really, I appreciate your time, and thank you so much. You don't mind if you're going to send this interview, you don't mind to send it to me as well, so that I can listen to what I was talking about.
Yes, definitely. Our producers will be getting in contact with you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
There we go. Yeah, and with that, we've come to the end of the show. And I think, as we've heard, the struggle of the Congolese people is not just a regional issue, but I think one that mirrors, all global issues. The Democratic Republic of Congo, for me, just like Palestine, is enduring the heavy toll of foreign intervention, exploitation, and violence of proportions that are quite inhumane. And, we cannot remain silent as millions of lives are being shattered for resources that ultimately belong to the Congolese people. And I think just as we stand firm in solidarity with Palestine, and it's not even a question. I think it's very, very important that as I mentioned, as much as we stand firm with Palestine and other oppressed nations, we stand with the people of the DRC. And as Africans, this is happening right on our doorstep. We're just two countries away, from the DRC. You have South Africa. When you come from, south to north of Africa, you have South Africa, you have Zimbabwe, you have Zambia, and after that, you have the DRC. So this is very, very close to home. And I think it's time for the same level of advocacy and action that has been rallied around Palestine to be extended to the people of Congo. Their fight for justice, sovereignty, and dignity is our fight too. And the international community cannot turn a blind eye any longer. So, yeah, as we conclude today's conversation, let's remember that our solidarity is powerful. And together we can bring the change the Congolese people deserve. So let's advocate for peace, justice, and an end to the exploitation of their land and lives. We've come to the end of today's edition of News and Views. It's been a really, really insightful and educational one. We hope to be with you again tomorrow morning for the Thursday edition of the show. But I'm not leaving you just yet. I'll be leaving you with one of my favorite segments of the show. It's called #FiredUp. And this is with Hafiz Imran Chunara. He's the CEO of Africa Muslims Agency. And today he'll be talking, I think, on a very interesting topic, as he always does. Today he's saying, be a river and not a reservoir. Wonder what he means by that. Take a listen. We'll be with you again tomorrow morning. From myself, Salalo, and the rest of the team. Sharp, sharp.